Hey everyone, welcome to dubventures and welcome to a very cold winter's morning. So guys, what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to be talking about how to keep warm in your camper van, especially in winter. What we're going to do is we're going to have a chat about what it is that we did when we got our first camper van, and the fact that we didn't have any heating whatsoever, and we used to wake up at campsites with frost on the inside of the window, but we didn't know any different. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the basic things that you can do to keep warm, like the electric hookup, but we'll show you. Also talk about diesel heaters and are they needed for a camper van. So when we got our very first camper van, all it had in it was a blow-up mattress, and that was it, and we was off. And the very first camping trip that we ever did, we stayed on a campsite in November. It was minus temperatures, and we woke up during the night. We just had blankets and things like that on the blow-up mattress, and we woke up and there was frost on the inside of the window. And you know what? We didn't know any better, and we was just like, you know what? This is what van life's all about. Obviously there is ways to keep warm, and we didn't know about things like that, but we were so keen to get out and about when we first got our first van. That's what we did. We booked it in a campsite, no heating, nothing, and yeah, it was cold, but we did enjoy it. So after doing a bit of research and things, what we decided to do is, and we've still got it, we decided to get one of these gas heaters. Now these gas heaters, they do work, they are fantastic, but there is a lot of things that are sort of like a little bit wary that you need to be with them. Obviously you can't like leave them unattended or anything. And the other thing is as well, if you're using one of these in a camper van, it creates like a lot of condensation, and obviously because it's burning the gas off as well. And like I said, the big thing is you can't leave it unattended. But do you know what? We used this for quite a while and it worked for us. But the thing is, when you wake up during the night and it's really cold, if you put this on and if you fell asleep, they can be quite dangerous. So they do work. Would I recommend something like this? Yes, if you're going to be sensible and careful and like not leave it unattended, but it's good to get a little bit of heat in. But this is what we did. We got one of these first of all, and we did use it and it did work. So after doing more research and looking at different things, Brooke said to me, why don't we get like an electric hookup? Now it's a hookup that, because we didn't have electrics in the van or anything, it was a hookup that basically it connects to the hookup at a campsite, and then when we were staying at a campsite, you can lead sort of like through the window, and then you can have it inside, and then it's got all the plugs. I'm going to show it you in a minute. Now I have to admit, for a long time I kept saying to Brooke, no, we don't need one of them, we'll be fine with this heater, because at this point we'd never ever done any well camping. It was all campsites. So let's show you what we got, because even now to this day we still use this system. Just been telling everyone about our very first camping trip, about it was cold, but we had a really good time, but waking up with frost on the inside of the window. But anyway, and I've just also told them that you kept saying for a long time we should get one of these like electric like hookup plug systems, and I was like, no, we don't need one. But then we got one, and you can probably hear in the background now we've got the fan heater blowing, and we've just got like the electric plug comes in here, and we've plugged it in, and then we've got that turned down on a low heat. And you know what? That was a game changer for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And the thing is as well, is because it's on an electric hookup, you're not really bothered if you're talking to people and the door's open, because you can just continuously leave it on. Yeah, and a lot of these electric fans, they've got like a system where, if I just show you now, just quickly show you, if it falls, it turns off straight away. So now we do have obviously a diesel heater in this van. Now because we're on a campsite at the moment, we've spoke to many different people, and lots of different people have got different ways of staying warm in winter, because not everyone's got a diesel heater, not everyone's got fan heaters and things. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to have a chat with this couple here, because they've got a diesel heater. Now we're going to talk about our diesel heater in a minute, but they've not always had this heater, so let's go and find out how these guys have kept warm in winter during van life. So guys, we're just with Ant at the moment, and this is his van, looking superb. It didn't look like this the last time we've seen it. You've just had some spray work done to it, and it's like, what a difference it makes. Fantastic, really good job. But the question is, does your van have a diesel heater?
It does now. We had it fitted about 6 months ago.
Right, now before that, you said that you only stayed on campsites, but you've got the electric hookup system, same as like what we've got with the plugs, where you could use a fan heater.
And to be fair, we predominantly go in the warmer months.
Yes.
It's only recently that we've started going as the weather's been colder.
Now the diesel heater that you've got fitted, as you just said before, it's the, as everybody knows, like they sort of like refer to them as the cheaper Chinese diesel heaters. Now we know a lot of people that have these heaters and they're fine with them. They've had them for years. There's a lot of like big YouTubers like in America and that have these diesel heaters and things, and you know, they've been used for years in extreme conditions, never had any issues with them. So the question I want to ask you is, number one, how long have you had the heater?
We had it fitted about, it might be a year since we had it fitted now.
Right, and have you ever had any issues
None
with it whatsoever?
It's been absolutely fine.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, starts first time every time.
What I will say, like a lot of people do buy these heaters and they think that they can fit them themselves, but you have to have some knowledge of what you're doing, don't you? Because I think a lot of the problems that you hear about are people that don't know what they're doing, isn't it?
We actually had it fitted. I wouldn't have the wherewithal myself to do it myself. It's tapped into the fuel tank, and just the thought of cutting my fuel line.
Yeah, it's not something
that I'd be comfortable doing. Yeah, so the guy came to our house, he did it on our drive. He charged about 360 quid in total for that's supplying.
Do you mind me asking? That's supplying the heater as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic, and he never had any issues
None
with it.
whatsoever now.
So you know what, guys? There is ways to get like heaters in your van, but obviously knowing who's fitting it and things like that, and have a proper job, that's obviously the key thing that you need to get.
But I've gone camping in tents and things like that, wild camping in tents for many years, and the weather's never stopped me doing that. You just make sure you've got the right clothes and the right sleeping bag.
Well, you know what, that's another thing, how to keep warm. It's about the right gear, not going thinking, oh, that's a bargain, I'll buy that, buy cheap. Buying, I mean, as you can see, you've got like the proper gear on and everything. It's about having the correct gear, and same with sleeping bags as well.
Buy cheap, buy twice. So.
How Christmassy is this van? Look at it. How Christmassy is he? Look at his Christmas jumper on. Christmas.
Hey, mate.
Oh, it's nice. It's warm in here.
Come in.
And that's what. Oh, there we go. Right, so we're in the festive van, and first of all, just want to point out, if you've got the electric hookup, like, you know, plug system that you can use, you can plug like the small radiators into it. I don't know like the wattage and things like that. I can't give you exact figures, but you can like put the smaller ones in. Now, I've just been having a really good chat, and you have got a diesel heater fitted in here.
Yep.
And what make is it?
It's one of the cheap Chinese ones from eBay.
Now, first of all, I'm going to ask this question. How long have you had it fitted?
About 18 months now, a year and a half.
And have you had any issues whatsoever with it?
None whatsoever.
Again, just like Ant that was talking to a second ago, just because these cheap Chinese diesel heaters sort of like comes with the word cheap, I think that they're not very good. Now, did you get someone professional to fit it, or?
No, fitted it myself.
Fitted yourself, but do you have sort of like knowledge how to do things?
We've got a little bit of background, yeah.
Right, but you've never had any issues with it whatsoever?
None whatsoever. Added a little gadget to it, GSM relay, so I can send it a text message to turn it on or off. So if we're out somewhere, half an hour before we're due to get back to the van, send it a quick text message, and the heater's on nice and warm for us.
I need to ask him how all this works. This is the first I've heard of something like this. So before you had the diesel heater, I know that you've converted like a lot of the van yourself, because you know he's a very knowledgeable guy. He's done a lot of the stuff himself. He's just been telling me. Did you do any camping sort of like without any heaters? And
yes.
How did you keep warm?
Just layer up with clothing.
Right.
Hot water bottles.
Hot water bottles. Yeah. Now you see that something so simple. It's something that I didn't like really think about, but yeah, hot water bottle. That's another thing that you can do. So, and correct clothing.
Yeah.
And curtains on the windows. They make a big difference as well, don't they? So, hot water bottles. I didn't even think of that one, but there you go.
We've got insulated window covers on the inside, and then we've got a cover on the outside as well, and that helps.
So guys, we're here with Conrad. So Conrad doesn't know what I'm going to ask him here, so I'm going to ask him a question.
Goodness, go on.
Conrad, when you got this van, it did not have a diesel heater, did it?
Not at all.
So you had it fitted as part of a conversion?
Yes.
But you still used the van to go camping without the diesel heater, didn't you?
I had to.
So the question is, how did you keep warm when you was using the van without the diesel heater?
I was relying on the hookups. Basically, get yourself a cable, get it like a little fan or any heater, which
Hookups
works
again?
from the hookup. So that was only. Otherwise, camping wasn't part of the game. In the winter, summer is better. But yes, definitely the hookup was an answer.
Right.
So everything was doable.
Did you do any well camping before you got the full conversion done?
Not much.
So it was just like campsites.
Campsite only, and probably like a day trips. So I didn't have to stay over the night.
So again, you can, without a heater, you can use one of these hookups again, because, and again, you've got a diesel heater, we've got a diesel heater, but we're still using the hookup when we come to campsites with a fan heater because it does work. So just as I was having that conversation with Conrad, you were saying that you've just had your diesel heater fitted in your van, and you've got a brand new van, haven't you?
Yeah.
But you've only had it. But how did you keep warm in your van before you got that fitted?
I had a gas heater at first, so I used that, and then it was all right, but it emptied the canisters really quick. So and it's expensive, like we both said. So
because you've just been saying that
I had my van's a purpose-built van, has gas central heating and a gas water heater. But to have that on in a day, I can literally use a 6 kilo bottle of gas just heating the van in the winter. So I've gone for a diesel heater. So I fitted a diesel heater, and it's just amazing. Absolute game changer.
It is
game changer. But obviously here this weekend, I've got an electric heater.
Yes.
Because why waste my fuel when I can use
the
electric?
Yeah,
so
you paid for it because obviously you're at a campsite.
Exactly.
So that's interesting that, you know, even though you've got a brand new van, you was using the gas, but you'd realise.
And it was good.
Yeah.
It was good, but
the
just
diesel heater makes more sense.
And I've measured it out because I've kept a separate tank for diesel at the minute. So I've got my main tank.
Right.
And I used it the other week for about 3 nights and days, and I used it most of the day, and I used about 3 litres of diesel.
But the thing is, with gas, because it's going up so much, it's like diesel's going up, but it goes up, it comes down. Gas is only going one way at the moment, isn't it? So
gas to get those gas bottles is a nightmare anyway. I have to go probably 30 miles out of my way from home to get those gas bottles.
Right. Quick question, what make of diesel heater have you got?
It's Chinese.
Max feeding rods.
Max feeding rods.
Right, okay.
150 quid it was.
Right. And have you ever had any issues with it?
None.
Nothing.
And you use the same, as a Chinese diesel heater?
Same one, we bought the same one.
Fitted it myself.
Yeah, we both.
Absolutely. It took me 2 days, but you know what, I enjoyed the process. Did a lot of YouTubing, as you do, to find how to do it.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty much all the same anyway, aren't they? In the sense how they're built. So
it's just finding where you're going to put it, where you're going to fit it. I put mine somewhere a bit different, but most people put them under the seats.
I put mine under the seat.
See, that's interesting because everyone that I've spoke to has got like and we use these words, cheap Chinese diesel heater. But it kind of like straight away it gives it this bad, oh no, you don't want one of them, don't want it. But everyone that I've spoke to, and people who have spoke to sort of like off camera and sort of like in Facebook community and things like that, everyone said they've never ever had an issue with them. So that's interesting.
So one of the things that we haven't mentioned is electric blankets. I mean, we don't have one and haven't tried one, but a lot of people we've met have said that they use electric blankets. You know, if you have a power lead, you can connect it to that and plug it into a power station like an EcoFlow and use it that way.
As you can see, guys, it's like getting to that time of year where it's really cold, like wintry conditions, and more importantly, it's a time of year that you really need to think about keeping warm in your van when you're travelling. Now, as we've said in this video, if you're at a campsite, there isn't really an issue about keeping warm. Like I said, the electric hookup that everybody seems to like be talking about, if you have one of them, that's the ideal thing to have, because then you can put a heater in the van and you can keep the van warm. The gas heaters, you know, they're quite good, but you can't leave them unattended or anything. Now, we've actually got in our camper van, we've got a Webasto diesel heater. Now, in the other van that we had, we did have a diesel heater in there as well, because we got that fitted eventually. And you know what, when you've got a diesel heater, they're a game changer, because it allows you to go well camping, you know, and be able to explore and not have to worry and need the facilities of actually using a campsite. Now, the thing is, when you've got a diesel heater in your van, you do actually need some power to actually power the diesel heater as well, other than the diesel fuel. You can actually use power stations to power these diesel heaters. Now, I know a lot of people that have like bought the diesel heater, they don't have a leisure battery, but what they're doing is they're connecting it to like their power stations, and that does work, but obviously you need to like look how much power that is needed. Now, the thing is, these power stations, especially in winter, they are going to use a lot more power, because you're going to be having your diesel heater at a higher temperature to obviously keep the van warm. So guys, have you got any suggestions of any things that you've done, or any ideas about how you can keep warm in winter? You know, if you don't have a diesel heater, or you don't have like a gas heater or anything like that, yes, you know, you can use like quality sleeping bags and like all these different things, you know, that we've mentioned in the video. But if you guys got any ideas, you can put in the comments. It also helps the van life community out to let everybody know about all the different ideas that everybody's got and things that you've done. Have you guys got any funny stories as well, like we did, about having the sort of like camping in winter when we didn't have a heater or anything? It's really important to mention as well, guys, don't forget your pets get cold as well. So again, in winter, think about some sort of like quality like clothing and stuff like that, you know, like some waterproof jackets and things, because like I said, pets do get cold as well. So guys, we've got a lot of winter travel coming up, and this is why we wanted to do this video, just to like let you guys know, because there's still a lot of people that are getting into van life that are like new to all of these type of things. And you know, these are the things that we've like done ourselves, and as you've seen when we was talking to everybody, everybody's been in the same sort of like thing where, you know, they didn't know how to keep warm and things, and they tried different things. The other thing is as well, don't forget how important having insulation in the van is as well. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the like button, and until the next one, bye for now.